get into the biggest crisis that we see that needs to be.
Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jamari. Today I have a guest. Please, can you introduce to the audience?
Thank you very much. My name is Ngabo, Olivier. I'm the CEO and the founder of Your Wellbeing Center.
Can you tell us a little bit about your project?
Thank you very much. Your Wellbeing Center, it's a social enterprise that we created with the aim of helping people to find the balance between mental wellness and physical wellness. So we do a number of things. We more of focus into mental wellness. We do awareness events to raise the awareness around the mental health. We have therapeutic groups that we work with, especially in southern province part of Rwanda, where we have more than 500 people that we started working with since 2018. But Your Wellbeing Center, a social enterprise, has been actually created in 2022. So we are also into physical wellness, where we educate people about nutrition, and also we link up people who need the professional coaches to go to the gym, maybe to shape their bodies and all that. It's basically has been created with the aim of finding the balance between mental wellness and physical wellness, and also raising the human consciousness.
Before we're talking about mental health, I was wondering, how do you balance mental health as a person, like in the community that we don't believe in mental health situation, especially when we see someone who's have mental problem, we think that he's crazy. I'm talking as a creative person. When I'm always in a stress, I'm always overthinking, I'm always thinking like in a negative way. Can you tell us the connection, why you do, and in general, the real life?
Wow, it's a broad question. It's really huge, but I will try to summarize.
Yes.
Actually, it's not, we don't talk about, for us, we prefer talk about mental wellness. Because when we're talking about mental health, it sounds like it's already a health issue. So we do not want, it goes, for me, it sounds like, and it keeps on raising this kind of stigma that we are fighting for in this society. For instance, in a normal life, we have a lot of things that we need to do. We have a vision, we have a plan, we have a timeline, something that's stressed up. Like on a daily basis, you always have something that you want to do. And again, we just calling up people to find the balance between the emotions, the actions, and the visions. So for us, we raise the awareness, we talk about it. It's not only a matter of someone who has already been seen as a crazy person out there, because now it becomes a mental health issue. It's a situation that has already been deteriorated.
Okay.
So we have a lot of categories. There's depression, there's this kind of the person who do not have the balance. But again, for us, it's mental wellness. We prefer talking about it before we get into depression, before we get into trauma, before we get into the biggest crisis that we see that needs to be escalated to the hospitals. Talking about the creativity or the creative industry or entrepreneurship. Let's use the word entrepreneurship, sure. Because when you're an entrepreneur, you do a lot of things.
Yes.
You have a plan. You keep on writing. So there's an idea. There's writing the idea. There's pitching. I mean, a lot of people, we are stuck into the investment side of it. That thing that keep on stressing you. There are two things involved. There's creation as an artist, because artists are the people who create, who come up with an idea, something abstract. Maybe a painting artist, maybe a content creator, maybe a photographer, maybe something that is coming from your imagination side of it. So there's that part of creating. Actually, I love it because if we are called ourselves the sons and daughters of God, it automatically means that we are the co-creators of God, because we have the DNA of God.
Yeah.
So for me, when you ask me about the intelligent people, or if I'm to rank, I start with the artist. Because an artist is someone who really is in an imaginary world, create something, and now this process of creation, to put it into a concrete thing, that a person like me or any other profound guy who can see and say, okay, he wanted to mean this. There's a whole process.
Yeah.
So now that whole process, this is where we get the anxiety from as an artist. I am an artist. I have an art. I have something that I came up, but I don't know how to let the world know what I'm doing. Or I want to do it in this way or another way that requires money. In a reality, there's a whole process to follow. From the side of being a creator to a manager or an entrepreneur, there need to be a bridge.
Yes.
So you can have both side of whatever you're doing. You're a good artist, but you're at the same time a good entrepreneur, or you're at the same time a good manager. But again, remember, we're talking about the mental wellness. There's already amount of energy that consumed you while you were doing the creation of it. So you're from creating to the whole process, strategy, marketing, actually making whatever you did being fruitful, being it brought to the market. So I think because we are made by emotions, and we need to find the balance in whatever we do. You can feel like, okay, I'm not good at this. Let me just focus on this. So now you know what you're doing. You're actually reducing an amount of stress that is going to go to you. Because we need you as an artist, not as a manager or as an entrepreneur. You can be an entrepreneur, but you have a management. This is why the artists or anyone who's into this has a whole team that they're working together. So it is for you to not lose the focus, because when you lose the focus, you actually your energy is scattered here and there.
Yes.
And you need to be in the same place. Again, there's also a way you can do each and everything because you are alone, because you haven't yet reached to a certain level of hiring a team. I also understand. But it goes with, how do you balance your life? There's a time for working, there's a time for resting, there's a time of breathing, there's a time of acknowledge whatever you went through. This is actually part of what we teach. At the end of the day, how do you reflect to your day? You actually don't have to hide your emotions. You don't have to fight your emotions. You simply have to acknowledge them. You let them be, you let them pass. You let them come, you let them pass. This is where we teach some of the practices like yoga, like meditation, like breathing exercises. You breathe in, you breathe out. You breathe in, you breathe out. It has been proved biologically, scientifically, that biologically these things work because you actually relax your mind. There is also a huge step in mental wellness that they call acceptance. In whatever you went through your day, how do you accept whatever happened to you? Whether some mistakes you made, you need to actually forgive yourself so that you overcome whatever you did. Or you also need to accept whatever situation that you've been through, whether something that you didn't do put you in a certain situation that you're not happy for. You just forgive yourself. Tomorrow is another day. But you need to reflect on your day and accept the emotions. We have what we call duality, negative and positive, in whatever we do.
Yes.
Something can go in an unplanned way.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. But because we do believe that we do not hold the whole control of this life. So we need to have this kind of acceptance. It allows us to cool down, actually, emotionally. And this is how we manage the stress. This is how we manage the emotion. And also, when you do the reflection, early morning, before you start your day, and at the end of the day, before you go back to sleep, you're informing your subconscious mind that you're good with whatever happened. You're not fighting with emotions, actually. So tomorrow is another day. You just need to find a practice that works for you. It's not like this something that is right and needs to go this way.
Yes.
You need to find your way of relaxing, actually. This is what I simply talk about. And this is why we also have a physical place where you go, you do the gym, you relax, or you do the walk. There is a way or another you need to release the whole tension of the day. Yeah.
So you're saying that you bring in awareness on mental issue. Do you work with people, psychology? Do you work with professional coaching life? How are you working in general?
Yes, thank you very much for that question. Actually, this what we are doing is awareness. We do podcasts. We started doing the podcast about mental and physical wellness.
Mental issue in general. We live in a community, especially in African community, we believe God is everything to us. How are you approaching people? How do you connecting social worker or therapists to people who have problems? How are you doing it?
Okay, thank you very much. In our center, part of what we do the awareness of mental wellness through the podcasts, such as the thing that we're doing right now, me and you. We are really grateful for having us.
Thank you.
We also do several events, conferences here and there, talking about the mental wellness issues in the community, where we invite a lot of people. But we also link up people, professional psychologists, professional counselors that are within our database that we work with anonymously to anyone who might need them. Maybe through my phone call, maybe through our website. It's actually yourwellbeingcenter.rw. People can go there. Yeah. We also have online therapy that we do online between the professional counselors, professional psychologists, and the people who might need it. So there's a lot of things that we do. And talking about the community, we also do what we call community outreach, where we have what we call therapeutic groups. As I started saying, we have around 500 people in Southern Province, in Nyamagabe, Nyaruguru, and Huye, and Gisagara. Those are the people that we work together to try to bring the conversation. It is called therapeutic groups. So we formed the group. We obviously started with the genocide survivors in that area. Why that area? It is because when you go into numbers, this is where we have a big number of genocide survivors in the communities. So we decided to start with them. How do we talk about whatever happened to us? So we take 2 people among the group, we train them, we give them the basic trainings. We have one of our psychologists or professionals who go there. They train 2 people per group. Then they form a group. They meet up every Sunday to talk about the issues, to talk about what they went through during the genocide. Because even though it's 30 years after the genocide against the Tutsi, but we still have a lot of people who did not actually happen to open up and say whatever they have been through. So this is one category of people that we work with, but we are here to extend, and we are open arms so that we can. We live in a world that is full of struggle, that is full of anxiety and all that. So yes. Therapeutic groups are working perfectly. We have been really seeing it working ever since 2018. This is when I personally started the training of therapeutic groups. And we do the graduation. After every 6 months, we do the graduation. When the groups graduate, actually, we put them together and we raise the fund so that they can do a project. For instance, if there are people who just want to be maybe having a farm of cows, and they're like, our project is maybe a budget of 2 million. So we come here, we knock here and there on the doors so that we can see part of the CSR activities in the big companies so that they can donate. We give them the money in a sense of making sure that after we leave, they will keep on having the interactions between themselves. We have also a curriculum that we are working on so that we can offer the corporate people. We can come to your company, propose you. If you want, we can have a contract of maybe a whole year contract, a big bank between the bank and your well-being center. So we do the capacity building. Because remember, at the workplace, this is where we spend a lot of time. What is my work environment? Is it toxic to me? Is it... It's not necessary to mention the names, but we know a lot of people have been having the stroke at work. Because if it's a 9-to-5 job, it's approximately 8 hours of your day that you spend. So where you spend your a lot of time, it needs to be healthy to you. So this is something that we are working on. We are very positive that they are going to accept it so that we bring the practices, we do the capacity building. Maybe we do 2-3 days per 3 months, so that we evaluate ourselves. We also we are developing an application that somebody, after it is done, we come again. Hopefully that you have me, and we let our people know that this kind of app that we are doing, it actually has the basics of how you can know or detect your mood, and what are the practices, the simple practices that can go with you to elevate your mood. Remember, our core mission as your well-being center, it is raising human consciousness. We believe that if you get in touch with your inner self, this is the whole wealthy and health.
How do you balance, how do you say to people who believe God is everything? As you said before, we go to church to play, we believe that God has a plan to what we want to do. How do you tell people that you need to get in touch with yourself instead of get in touch with God?
I mean, I don't know why you bring in this question, but
I know you are a Christian, because in Africa we believe in Jesus too much.
And anyways, do we even practice what God says?
Most of the time, we believe we do.
Or we interpret it in a bad way. This is the feeling that I have. Because, let's start from the beginning. We are called the daughters and sons of God. So it means, for me, that we have the DNA of God. As I have 2 beautiful daughters.
Yes.
I know they have my DNA. So if I'm called myself a son of God, it simply means that I do not have to have the fear of the unknown. And you know where the anxiety is coming from, my brother? It's coming from the fear of the unknown, the fear of tomorrow. Let me tell you something. The plan that we have in 2 hours to come is just the plans. What we did in 2 hours before we made, it's just the past.
Yeah.
The only time to live is now. So if we do believe in God, the way the Bible says it, we need to surrender to God. But again, what causes stress is because we pray for something, we ask God to help us, and we want to help God to help us. It doesn't make sense.
You want to show the God, I want this money
in this way. No, let God be God. So when you surrender, actually, you're actually releasing your stress. There's no anxiety because you have a strong belief. You have a strong faith to the Almighty God. Okay. But the challenge is how we have been taught about God. A lot of people, my brother, they fear God more than they love God. If you fear your dad, if you fear your papa, how are you going to get close to your dad?
That is the character usually. When I was growing up, I didn't have a good relationship with my father because I always talk to my father when I'm in trouble.
I know.
When I need money. That is how we've been raised. We didn't have that relationship saying I'm cool with that. The other question I'm asking, we are in a generation, everything we want, we talk about emotion. And reality for men in general, when you have people who have managed to succeed, they're the people who hide the emotion or who we feel like they are strong enough to not talking about the emotion. Now we are in a generation, everyone is preaching, talk about yourself, talk about your emotion. Are we getting weaker by just word, or just, do you think it's, I'm talking about the problem now. As someone who's working in that environment, how do you approach young people, or in general men who are lost in those feelings? Because this is the reality now.
Let me tell you, actually the good news is the new generation is so much aware than we are. Trust me. Let's talk about the example that you said about your dad.
Yes.
Or our dads, but I do believe that we're almost the same age.
Yes.
So they have been through a lot. And they have been taught that, let me quote in Kinyarwanda, amarira y'umugabo atemba ajya mu nda.
Yes.
So you do not allow yourself to release your emotions.
Yes.
You are strong. You need to be strong. You don't need, But actually, if you want it or not, the emotions that you did not release in the way that you should release, either talking about it, either crying, either releasing, either finding any other form of therapy that you can do for your own, to release it with the intention of releasing something, right? If you don't do that, in a way or another, you will find a high blood pressure in our dads who are now in 60s and 70s right now.
Yes.
You will find them have diabetes.
Yes.
Those are called non-communicable disease. The cancers are coming through. Actually, 60% of what we call the disease are coming from within. Young generation, they are so much aware about their emotions. This is now where we have a problem of intergenerational communication. We need the bridge. You know the bridge? The bridge is not going to be someone who's in 50s or 60s now. This is actually, he already has his own culture that is now facing the non-communicable disease due to not releasing the emotions, right? In their own way. But in a way or another, you need to release it. Now, there's also a generation, what we call Gen Z, who are now in their 20s, who are so much aware about it because we are making the podcast. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of people worldwide who are talking about mental wellness. Yes. So now the bridge is going to be us who are from 40 to 30. We understand a certain part of that world.
Yes.
We also understand a certain part of this new Gen Z.
Yes.
Isn't there too much weakness? Isn't there too much being strongness? How do we find the balance?
The problem with I'm having these days, like we've been told we have to be emotional, we have to share how we feel. And then you go in a date as, let me talk as a guy, you want to date, you go in a dating scenery. You find yourself, because you don't know how to manage your emotion, you go like deeper, you express yourself. People, women, they don't get that emotion. They get like you can see you approach another guy approaching, even he's playing with her emotion and that stuff. It's easy to get her, but you who comes like
who's being real.
Yes, you realize you don't. She doesn't have anything like really mysterious. I can say. Because I feel like even in Rwanda we say wagasore katirari ni karongo. So how do you balance with that? I want to share. We talk about the story because you are now you are doing the awareness. So how do we heal? How do we try not to blame ourselves when we find ourselves in that situation?
Okay, let me give you this. If you want to go into any relationship, either love relationship, business relationship, first of all, know yourself. By knowing yourself, you will know what you love, what you don't love, who you are, what is your mission on this earth, where you're heading, what is your vision. Because if you go into something just because you feel like the society is giving you a pressure to be in a certain relationship, this is where you're going to go. By the time you're into a relationship, this is the time that you're going to discover yourself. In the meantime, you're creating a chaos all around you. You're confusing yourself, you're confusing your partner, you're distracting everything. This is actually a number of divorces that you are seeing into young marriage. People have been together for 2 years, 5 years. When you see them, they start talking about divorce. When you're like, okay, what is happening? Like, oh, she doesn't understand me. Oh, he doesn't understand me. Because you don't know yourself in the first place. So by knowing yourself, this is where comes a word that you are using of healing. If you start knowing yourself, asking yourself, I, Jean-Marie, who am I? What is my mission in this earth? What do I like? What do I don't like? Where do I need to improve? Because when you're having a conversation with yourself, with your inner self, when you get in touch with your inner self, there's no lie. You either want it or not, your conscious mind is going to tell you the whole truth. So now when you do the self-examination, this is where you know yourself. And by knowing yourself, you know where to improve. So if you're out of that knowing myself, now, kagasore katiraririye, this is where you get the confidence from. I mean, you don't want external validation. You just know that, like, okay, let me use my own example. I, Ngabo, I know myself. I know my strong side. I know my weaknesses. I know things that I like. I know where I need to improve. It's okay. I make peace with myself, so I know my standard. When I know my standard, I will know the girl, the woman that I'm going to approach. When I go there, I'm full of confidence because I know myself.
So you have to.
There's nothing bad you can say about me that I don't know anywhere. So what are you telling me? It removes this thing that is killing people that is called external validation.
Because of social media also.
There's a lot of pressure, actually. It's not only social media. Look at the dudes that you were together in the primary school. Some of them are driving Range Rovers. Some of them are in jail. Some of them are good politicians. And you want to compare yourself to someone else because you need that external validation. Why do we need external validation as human beings? It is because we are social animals. We love belongingness. Me and my people that we started in the high school, we used to be this, we used to be this, we used to be doing these things together, so I also need to be in that category. You start pushing yourself for things that you don't love. More than 80% of people in the world are doing something that they don't love just because of money. This is where the headaches are coming from. This is where the stress are coming from. Because you do something just for something called money, so that if I get money, I will buy this thing, I will belong in this category of people. But my brother, you actually lying yourself. Is this Lamborghini that you aim to buy, do you actually love it? Or you just love a bicycle? When you drive your bicycle, you're breathing, or you love it. Oh, you actually, it starts from being in touch with your inner self. So now, because a lot of people are so much scared of sitting still and be in touch with themselves, looking themselves into a mirror because of trauma-related issues. So this is why now your Wellbeing Center is talking about the mental health, the mental wellness as a key to unlock the wealth and health and happiness so that we raise human consciousness.
Do you believe that people, even before, there are some people who are aware of themselves, or is just something that starting coming up now?
No, it has been there. It has been there because if you see, like, there's a lot of people that you can really go and read their book. There are a lot of monkeys out there in YouTube. There are Sadhgurus, there are Dr. Joe Dispenza. This is actually, unfortunately, you see that there are old people who have been pursuing chasing the money, and at the end of the day, they're like, okay, we are not happy. So what is missing? So now they see that what is missing is being in touch with themselves, so that they really know who they are and what they love. So now they get back to the reason. So for now, in this generation, I think we are very lucky because we have so much of information. Thank you very much. It's just a matter of how you use your YouTube, how you use the internet.
But sometimes I feel like the more you have most information, the more you get confused, because you can go. When I was living in South Korea, I used to have different YouTube to listen to, because most of the time I was having trouble of finding the energy of even waking up in the morning, going to the job I was doing, and believing in the dream I was chasing. It could be I was listening to a guru. I was listening to even Bible people, like church people, telling you how to be strong, how to be even good. You realize you get better in 2 days, but the next week you need something else to rev you up.
It is called fake dopamine. I'm sorry to use that word, but it's like taking a drug. You smoke on some weed, and you're like, you're hyped up, boom, you're sobered up, you're back to the reality. But what I can tell you is, yes, there's a lot of things, but if you start practicing small by small, you cannot find.
How do you do that practice for the people who doesn't know how? Like, for example, for 1 day or 2 days, what is your best practice? If you want to hear, or if you want.
If I am to speak as me, I do a lot of meditation and mindfulness. Mindfulness, it is a practice that we need to do on a daily basis, on a minute that we are breathing. If I'm eating this food, am I eating this food while on phone scrolling for Instagram, or I'm eating this food, I'm having the taste? This is mindfulness. You simply need to be present in whatever you are doing. And this is how you're going to get in touch with your 5 senses. Mindfulness is a whole practice. Because the world is full of distraction, we find ourselves distracted, but it doesn't matter. What matters is how long do I stay in the distraction. I'm distracted, I come back. Another type There's what we call Tai Chi, there's yoga. Those ones requires the practices that are shown by the masters. But there's meditation. Meditation is something that you can do on your own. Early in the morning before you start your day, and at the end of the day to do the self-evaluation. Starting the day is you start the intention with how you want your day to look like. End of the day is you do the self-evaluation. How was my day? What was my role that I played? What did I learn? What did I do wrong? And I'm thankful for whatever the day went. Tomorrow is another day. It helps you to release. It helps you to relax. It helps you to have a clear idea and clear mind.
Wow. What is your future plan?
So we have a big vision as a well-being center. We have a bigger plan. But some of the things that are coming, we have an event that is coming in this May. I will share with you more details in the days to come. We're going to have an event that is called Intergenerational Transmission of Memory. So it is an event that is related to Kwibuka 30 years after the genocide against the Tutsis. It's a whole generation.
Yes.
So how do we transmit the memory, not the hatred, not the trauma? You understand that you need to heal. We were having a panel of our whole professionals with the PhDs and all that, who are going to help us to go through that journey. So there's that event that is coming very, very soon in May. We start the preparation around it. There is more often series that are going to be coming. Actually, I would like to encourage people to subscribe on our YouTube channel, like and share whatever content that they find there, because we understood that we need to have a conversation like this one. We'll be having a lot of series and having a lot of people in our studios as well. So we are also, in a few months to come as well, opening a center, a physical center, that will be having a display for nutrition programs and nutrition product, organic product basically. We'll be having the physical gym, a gym where you go for the physical fitness, and also the places, the cozy places for counseling and therapy, where we link you with the professionals. Wow. So we keep on having therapeutic groups with our groups in Southern Province. We need to do more workshop. We have a project of talking about mental wellness in kind of tour in universities. So we have a bunch of projects that are keeping on coming. Yeah.
So in simple word, what people should do if they want to heal?
In a simple word, if you want to heal, you simply need to go in touch with yourself.
How you do it?
There's a lot of practice around it, but there's mindfulness. Being present in the moment. I keep on saying it. Whatever happened 2 hours ago, it's a history, it's in the past. Whatever happened 2 hours ago, it's just a plan, it's just in the future. When you start thinking about the future that you don't have control on the fingertips, you start having the anxiety that leads to the mental wellness issues. Yeah.
Thank you for the conversation.
Thank you very much.
I hope you related to this conversation. Please subscribe and also go support him on his YouTube channel. You can specify the name.
It is called Life Full of Life. Life Full of Life in one word.
Thank you guys for listening. I hope to see you in another episode. My name is Jean-Marie. I'm a photographer. I hope this conversation will help you. I want to take this special moment thanking everyone who's been watching on my YouTube, because it's been now 2 months that I'm posting every Sunday. Please keep coming and keep sharing my work. And I want more guests also. Please, if you have a friend who has something to share about.
Definitely. We can share studios. Yes, there's no problem. As long as we touch a lot of people, we're so much open to that. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us.
I hope to see you with another conversation.
Anytime. Okay. We're just here to elevate each other.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye, guys.